So I was thinking about a lot of things the past couple of days, and it all kind of led me to start thinking a little more about things in terms of the metaphors of depth psychology, um, because there are just some interesting parallels. I don't agree necessarily with depth psychology, but I go with whatever metaphor seems to be giving me the most result at any particular time. And I remembered something in terms of, again, I'm still discussing the issue I had and the issue that I had with a crush. And it sort of came to a head and it was unpleasant, and it was something that has been a repeated experience kind of over and over in my past. But I was reminded of a time when I was about 5 or 6 years old, and my father was very, he was either Asperger's or schizoid. Probably one of those two. And my mother was more of the narcissist. And I remember my father, I didn't really get much out of him. He didn't want to be around me. He sort of didn't like me. He didn't like me to approach him. And so one time, for whatever reason, I didn't even have a mental construct of why I did this, but we were walking out the back door of this place we lived in Connecticut, and all of a sudden I just bit his ass. I just gave it a big chomp. And of course he was very angry. I think he turned around and slapped me across the face or something. Because that was kind of his way of dealing with things. And then my parents asked me, why did you do that? And the answer I gave was, they look like big round red juicy apples. Now, I don't know where that came from either, but I think I just had to think of something to say at the moment. But the point of that is that I obviously did something to spoil the situation. And I apparently wanted attention, and then did that, and so I created a crisis, sort of, my own little crisis there, and things went on from there. And so I thought in terms of that pattern recurs. There's always kind of a crisis. I develop a mental crisis about these interactions or non-interactions, as they may be. If I don't really know the person that I have the crush on, I can still have a catastrophe, a mental catastrophe about it. Now, one of the reasons I'm not too upset about talking about this is because I think a lot of other people do experience the same thing. And for example, if you read things like May Sarton's Diary of a Solitude, or you can see that people do have these internal experiences regarding their images of other people. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you're close to that person or you're far from that person or whatever it is. It's just something has keyed you off. But I wanted to kind of draw a distinction between something I noticed with my crushes. It was pretty interesting to me. Those crushes who are probably narcissists usually have the worst result, because the narcissist doesn't really care about you as a person. So you're there as an object, and if you do the wrong thing, you're out. Okay, so the other evening I was around somebody who I had this issue go on with for a long time, and then it was able to be resolved. And I realized, I don't have a crush on this person now, but I really like this person. And, he kind of likes me too, and that's really okay. And it's I feel all right about it. And I can think of, I don't know, at the moment, at least 4 other people where that's the case. Some of them near, some of them far. Even some of them gay, and in fact, but I mean, I must have gotten over that like a long, long time ago, and now I'm perfectly fine with that person. And I want to also give a shout out to my gay friends because they're the best. Because they really stayed with me through thick and thin. I don't know. I get teary-eyed. um, I'll try to compose myself. So anyway, I think because my mother had this narcissistic quality of I had to be like her or join with her in order for me to be anything. And I think it sets up like a sympathetic vibration, and it's a negative sympathetic vibration because then you regress and you go back to the situation where you have to be a certain way in order to be with this person. And then it creates this huge mountain of like that you can just fall down very quickly. And so what's the answer? Well, if I put that with the biting the ass, it creates like a situation you've got to cause a catastrophe in order to go on. I don't know. I'm not sure I really have thought this through entirely, but there's something like that. And I'm sure depth psychology would kind of back that up in some way. So anyway, I guess that's it for now. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.